Welcome back to New Jersey, everybody. The Blast and the Ironmen just getting set to kick off on the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week, exclusively and live here on Fox Soccer Channel. I'm Ken Tomash along with Sal Rosamilia as we bring you tonight's action. The homestanding Ironmen looking to snap a two-game losing streak. They had a rough weekend last weekend. We'll take a look at that story as we go along, but first the Blast kickoff. They are in white shirts with the black shorts and white socks. And New Jersey will be attacking from left to right here in the first quarter. Are in the kind of maroon tops, white shorts and black socks. This is Daniel Antuniak, their leading scorer. Back out to Goran Vasic. Ryan Johnson, who's just returned to the Ironman lineup, to Lazo Alavanya in the center circle. Left footed down in the corner. Looking for that big forward, but it's the wee man, Denison Cabral, who flicks it out of there for Baltimore. New Jersey with the initial attack of this game. Antuniak just outside that three-point arc. Here's Ryan Johnson, the Jamaican, stripping the ball. Two good defensive plays in the first minute, Sal, by little man Denison Cabral.
And that's part of what he'll bring you in. All good forwards have to be able to go both ways in indoor soccer to be effective. But a good sign for the Ironmen, the first 30 seconds of the game, they've held possession. And that's something they've been struggling with in their losses.
Here comes the Blast on the attack. It's a left-footed shot and a save by New Jersey's Tony Meola.
And he had a chance to see that clear. It was a good opportunity, a good shot there, but there was no traffic in front of him, so it was a little too far away to be real dangerous, and it was a nice save.
Door player. Stokic. Question. Gordon Question with a left-footed shot. The rebound is sitting there for Salas, and he puts it home. New Jersey's up 2-0.
And a great setup there by the Ironmen. Really Sloan starting it in one corner, getting it over to the other side. A lot of patience shown there till a spot became available, and really not a great rebound led up there by Sagu. A long distance shot from Cleishan. Sagu should have either dealt with it into the corner a little bit more or probably held that and left it there for Salas for an easy tap-in.
Mauricio Salas played last year for the Detroit Ignition and then went off and played in Japan. Now he's back in the States, and he gets the first goal of this match on a rebound. When it comes to Sagu, you almost have to get him on a rebound kind of a situation. He reads the ball so well, sees it coming off your foot, but that one, the rebound was just sitting there agonizingly close, and Salas put it home. Carlos Garcia to Raul Marcel. 20 seconds to go in the first. Sagu wants someone to show for him. Toe pokes it up. Garcia tried to flick it behind him. Alavanya was there. Here's Johnson battling Garcia for it. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Back heel, Salas. Cleared by Aristodemo, but into the penalty box. Vasic off the restart. Off the glass, bouncing into the area, and that will end the first quarter of play. Sagu grabs that one, and New Jersey grabs the early lead as that goal by Mauricio Salas has them 2 points to the good after one quarter of play at home.
And a good quarter by both goalkeepers. Sagu made a couple of big saves late there.
15 minutes in the books, and we got a 2-0 game here in New Jersey. That man has a goal. Sal and I will come back and see if Baltimore can get on the board. You're watching exciting MISL Indoor Soccer live on Fox Soccer Channel. Stay with us. The second quarter is coming up. Well, Tony Meola may be 39 years old next month, but being back in the Garden State really suits him, Sal. Good first quarter.
Great job closing down the angle there. Not much room to shoot for. If it was going to be on target, it was going to hit him.
Do you think Baltimore is really pressuring him enough, is really challenging him to play the ball with his feet?
Well, he's quite comfortable with the ball at his feet, but by pulling back like they've been, it's really allowed the Ironmen to maintain possession and keep possession, which they're comfortable with. I'd look for them to apply a little bit more pressure, put the defenders under pressure a little bit, and create some more chances for the Blast. I am a little surprised because they were effective with it last week when they played.
Vasic found Sean David. He just slammed it off the boards. Over in that corner, it's Lazo Alavanya with it. No, that's Federico Mugin, 9 rather than 8. We're just underway in the second quarter. The foul called there by referee Ron Corey. Mugin with the foul. There's Ron Corey. We are at the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. The MISL Game of the Week. The New Jersey Ironmen in red against the Baltimore Blast in white. I'm Ken Tomash along with Sal Rosamilia. as we bring you exclusive live coverage of the MISL Game of the Week. Glad you're with us tonight here on Fox Soccer Channel. TJ Wakefield knocks this one long. Millwood can't get over there because Alavagna's there first, but his header almost went right to Millwood in a great scoring position.
Tried heading back to Meola to catch it with his hands, but didn't play the angle right off the board.
Here is Millwood. Threads it through, but Meola is there. Salenza was right there in front of him, but Meola had it read, and Millwood is a guy that they got to keep their sights on.
And he's letting Ryan Johnson know, too, that he's got to follow that run there.
Wide open, Antuniak left-footed shot just misses. He'll try again, and that one he puts home. Antuniak gets his 18th goal of the year, and the lead is growing in the Garden State. It's 4-0.
A great second effort there by Antuniak. One of the hardest workers in the league. Bounced one off the wall, back to himself, and a great finish in the corner.
You know what they say about try again, kids. He's a guy who is ready when the ball comes back to him, as you have to be in this indoor game. And Antuniak cashes in again. Dino Dolevsky and Greg Howes are ahead of him in the point scoring race. It's going to be hard to catch those guys. They're both long-time indoor goal-scoring gods, but Antoniak's off to a jump. In fact, pressure by Vasic. Baltimore breaks the press. Ray read that one nicely, but then he did not do well with it after that. Dono Neto looks like the foot is just fine. To Looking Land, he pulls Meola out, nutmegs him for the goal. Baltimore's back in it at 4-2.
Well, you see what Neto can bring to a team. Tremendous setup there by Looking Land. Far too much space off the turnover. And Meola was anticipating probably a ball far post. Leaned that way, and Looking Land went through the 5-hole.
Now we've got a
good answer back by the Blast, because they're not a tremendously good come-from-behind team, so they didn't want to let this one get too far away from them. Exactly what they needed answering back from the Antuniak goal.
So 35 seconds after New Jersey gets the second goal of the game, Baltimore answers. It's Looking Land from Dono Neto at 2:44, and that makes it a 4-2 game.
And the Ironmen have been very vulnerable immediately after some of their goals this year. It's a recurring theme. Can't make Coach Namazi very happy.
Here's Carlos Garcia, gets hip checked there by Ryan Johnson as he tried to spin to the outside. It'll be a freebie for Baltimore.
And you can almost feel the momentum swinging at this point.
First quarter stats, New Jersey with the only goal, and they outshot Baltimore 8-4. Sagu busy with 6 saves. That shot just high above Tony Meola.
And the Ironmen have taken in goals in bunches this season. When they've taken in one, it's been 2, 3, and 4. It's key for them in this game tonight here to stem the tide, stop the run at 1, and this next goal is really important.
Salas fouled from behind there by Lucio. Off the free kick. Here's Lazo Alavagna. He will look long. Antuniak. It's off him to Neto. Neto with a left footer. And despite going through Looking Land's legs, Sagu was right there.
Well, you're not going to beat Sagu from that distance.
Nice chest pass by Millwood. Sets up Salenza. Tries to get it to Aristodemo. He had a defender on him. It's Starkins and Meola with another big save.
And Baltimore's really starting to come into this game here.
And see, they're going to put this at the top of the arc. This is a tough rule in the MISL that's often applied in strange ways. That was a bang-bang play. Look at it again. Played over the wall. Here's Aristodemo now. Lays it off. Cabral with a shot, and again Meola with a save.
Saw it late. Great reaction.
His bright yellow boots. Number 5, Denison Cabral. Foul called. And New Jersey will have it. Tony Meola. The difference between him and the guy in the other net is Tony faces about 20 shots a game, while Sagu faces about half that. Can he keep that up?
Well, the simple answer is no. He doesn't want to, and I'm not sure that anybody can keep up that pace, much less someone who's been professional for 20 years now.
Vasic outside the three-point arc, he scores! New Jersey's up 7-2 on the long-distance shot by Gord Vasich.
And a big-time answer there by Vasich and the Ironmen after the goal by Blast brought them within 2. And from that angle, from that distance, three-pointer, really not much screen there for Sagu. I'm kind of surprised that this one found in the back of the net. I guess there is. Cabral is kind of standing 5 yards away from Vasich. And I think you see the frustration with Sagu there because he was kind of screened a bit on the play. Probably wanted Cabral either get out of the way or get a little closer to Vasich because you're not going to beat Sagu from that distance without some help.
And there is another goal as coming back the other way. Baltimore answers. Raul Marcel with the rebound goal. And it's 7-4. What a second quarter here in New Jersey.
And again, Coach Namazi has got to be going out of his mind right now. I think he called a timeout here because this is the second time this quarter already. Following an Ironman goal where they should have gained momentum in the game. And the Blast just have an answer for it. And this is not only happening tonight, but it's happening far too often in many of the Ironman games.
Well, we had 2 goals in 35 seconds. Here we have 2 goals in 8 seconds as Raul Marcel finds the open net. Meola had put himself in a position at the edge of his area, so he was pulled out. The goal wide open, and Raul Marcel cashes in. That's his first MISL goal in just his 4th game. 7-4. New Jersey leads Baltimore with 10:34 to go in the first half. This was a 2-0 game after 1. Things have really opened up here. We've seen 4 goals in this second quarter, and Danny Kelly may have to feel like his side has some momentum now as they've scored 2 of the last 3. But it's been an up and down season for him and this whole team going back to last year. They were 15-9, looked like they were a lock for the postseason. They lost their last 6, missed the playoffs. Then they get off to the 5-0 start this season, and here they are at 6-6 and in the fight of their lives tonight here in the MISL Game of the Week. New Jersey kicks off. They attack from right to left here in the second quarter wearing red. Sean David gets around his man, lays it off to Donald Gray. Gray didn't have any options on the other side of the field, plays it back to David. And both benches there yelling for Kevin Terry to stop play, and
not sure what took him so long to stop that. Salas was on the ground playing the ball for a good 5 seconds before he finally blew the whistle.
So Baltimore with a restart in their own end. Looking Land plays it long. Over the head of Millwood, and Millwood, yeah, that's going to send Gray off for 2 minutes. I mean, Millwood would have had a clear scoring chance there, but Gray grabbed a handful of his jersey and kept him from heading towards the goal.
Gray was definitely beat by Millwood on that ball there, but I believe Meola might have been in a position to play that himself with his feet.
Well, we'll step aside for just a moment, but when we return to the Prudential Center in Newark, we're going to have 6:48 to go in the first half, and Baltimore's going to be on the power play, trailing New Jersey 7-4. The Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. Don't go away. Sal and I are coming right back. It's wild and woolly action here tonight. Power play, but we're going to have one of the most exciting plays in indoor soccer, the shootouts. Wake up, young man. This is good stuff here. Denison Cabral is going to take a shootout. He's going to be 50 feet away from Tony Meola. And when the referee blows his whistle, everybody's going to be off and running. Cabral will start heading towards Meola, and everybody else is going to be coming from that midfield stripe, trying to get a rebound or a clearance or something.
And Cabral will probably just take one touch and hit it right here.
Here he comes. One touch, hits it, 1 goal.
Well, had the time, had the composure. Greatest scorer all time in Blast history is going to be successful more often than not on those type of plays. Got Meola leaning towards the right. He went upper right himself. From 8 yards away, not really much you can do. So a tough call there on Gray. Again, I think the power play was called. The 2-minute penalty was called on the play where Millwood had him beat. But I think if he didn't grab and didn't do that, I think Meola would have been there to collect the ball with his feet.
Yeah, you never know. That is Cabral's 11th goal of the campaign. He just recently passed the 800-point mark for his career. 300 games plus in the league. There's Sagu grabbing one there. So it's New Jersey 7, Baltimore 6, 6:25 to go. First half from Dallas with a shot that almost bent in under the crossbar, but it was just high. Millwood finds that ball on his feet. And Aristodemo comes in and says, thank you very much. Meola out, Aristodemo is there, and he puts it home. And Baltimore takes the lead for the first time tonight.
And the Ironmen are screaming. You see Meola talking about it, the bench is up. Well, there was a bad change there by the Blast that went unnoticed. They're looking over to the referee's box, asking why it wasn't called.
Jiminy Menuhin?
Yeah, they had 6 men on the field. And Aristodemo, great job playing to himself off the boards. Meola came out, cut off the angle. Aristodemo saw that, played it to himself. Didn't get a great touch, but good enough to go into the corner. Gray couldn't stop it. Blast had the lead, 8-7, and the Ironmen bench was really furious at this point. With the shootout in the commercial break, Nomazi was not happy about that call. And right there, they feel it should have been a power play for the Ironmen. Instead, Blast up 8-7.
Oh, and Mujin gives Billy Nelson an elbow to the back, sends him down, and pats him on the back of the head. Nelson just gets up and says, I'll take the restart.
And Baltimore seems energized by it.
And this was a Baltimore team that a week ago beat New Jersey 15-2, but then went to Philadelphia and lost 4-0. Shut out for the first time in team history. Tonight they really got it going on. Just here in this second quarter. Here's Antuniak. Lays it in front. Alavagna will shoot. It'll be deflected in, and Salas has his second goal of the night. His team has a 9-8 lead.
And a great job by Salas, beating Looking Land to the spot. Shot by Alavagna. Salas did not assume the ball was going to be on target. Sagu was going to make the save, ran for the back post, and was there for a simple tap-in, beating Looking Land to the spot again. And a big-time answer for the Ironmen. Just when it looked like they were going to probably go into halftime, all the momentum against them, and Salas has really been playing great lately for the Ironmen.
2 goals tonight, the first one and the most recent one. Will it be the last one of the half, or one of these two teams have another goal in them before we go to the intermission?
You saw Salas calling on his teammates on the field now to focus for the remaining minute and 30 and not give up a quick goal like they have twice already tonight.
Great tackle there by Sean David, and David will be the beneficiary of the break. Sean David tried to slide that one through to Mujin, who was crashing on Sagu.
Super play by Nelson. If he didn't, Mujin would have been there for an easy tap. And great job by Nelson getting back, dealing with David's pace.
You talk about Ironmen, the New Jersey Ironmen. Billy Nelson's an Ironman, almost never misses a game. In fact, when he missed a game in December because of a hamstring pull, it's the first game he'd missed in more than 2 full seasons. And he only misses a few games here or there in his whole career. We've got under a minute to go. That kick was taken way too soon for Kevin Terry's liking. He was not quite prepared.
Terry saying the ball was rolling as Millwood played it, and a good thing for the Ironmen because they were sleeping, and Salenza was there to poach, and he beat Meola.
Free kick now. 57.9 seconds left in the half. Robbie Aristodemo over the ball. And this free kick for Baltimore, trailing 9-8. Punched out by Meola.
And a good job with the rebound again, dealing with it, pushing it into the corner, not leaving it in a dangerous spot for the Blast to pounce on.
48 seconds now.
Aristodemo is very good on those restarts, isn't he?
Michelle Millwood. That one went off the referee. Bad break for Baltimore. Fortunate break for New Jersey. And that one's played over 2 lines by Gray, so Baltimore is going to have a chance here with under 30 seconds to play for another restart.
And unfortunately for them, Aristodemo is not on the field at this point. Millwood is, Salenza is. It probably will end up with Salenza for a right-footed shot.
But no, unless they take the timeout, then they can get whoever they want onto the floor, and Scott Butte signals for the timeout. And so, now,
give them a chance to get Aristodemo out there.
If they want, Danny Kelly's going to draw something up. His assistant is David Bascombe, who's also a terrific longtime player in this league, but who has been out due to injury. And meanwhile, Tony Meola just wants a breather and says, I'm facing way too many shots here tonight.
And you get 3 timeouts a game, but only 2 in any given half. So smart move there by Kelly to call the one here that he has to in the first half.
even though Omid Namazi's team is up 9-8, he's seen enough in the first half. He's going to have no lack of things to talk about at halftime, is he?
Well, it's been some of the frustrations and some of the troubles that the Ironmen have dealt with. You know, the ups and downs of this season. You know, taking leads, not being able to play with them, not being able to have possession, giving up goals immediately after you take, constant swings in momentum. That really has him frustrated with the direction of the team that it's been going lately. They're up right now 9-8, but again, a lot of things, like you said, to talk about. The possession fails them. First quarter, they had the majority of the possession on the Blast, and they were up 2-0. Perfect start to the game for the Ironmen. Second quarter, nothing what Omid is looking for. And here's Aristodemo on the ball here. He's got Cabral to his left and Millwood to his right.
Aristodemo plays it to Millwood. His left-footed shot curls up into the seats. So if Danny Kelly drew it up that way, I don't think it ended with that result.
No, the final touch failed Millwood, and he actually had a clear shot at an opening there on his comfortable foot on his left side.
Curled it nicely. Give him credit for that. Just the altitude was a little too much. So now we'll see what Omid Namazi can do in the last 27 seconds, or his team will just try to keep possession and take that 1-point edge. Salavanya knocks it long. Slow. Billy Nelson. Battle right there for it. Headed up and over the glass by Ryan Johnson.
Good battle there. Johnson and Lookenland, two big players. Johnson won it, but enough pressure by Lookenland to force him to win it over the crossbar.
Now Sagu with just under 12 seconds to play in the half. Whips it sidearm long. Headed back the other way by Stokich, and that one will go into the first row of the seats over there. Back and forth we go. Now it's Lookenland. Looking long. They count it down. Under a second to go, and that's the end of the first half of play. The New Jersey Ironmen, a 3-point goal is the difference, and they'll take a 9-8 lead into halftime intermission. But the fun continues with our halftime report. It's coming up next. We'll look at what's happening around the MISL. We'll have highlights and stats from this game, and a lot more. It's all coming up next here on halftime of the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week, with New Jersey leading Baltimore 9-8 at the half here on Fox. Men whose team has the lead, but Omid. All right, we'll talk to Coach Namazi in just a second as you look at the Ironmen dancers, but Coach Namazi's team has the lead. There's a 3-point goal that is the difference in this game at the moment, and we appreciate Coach Namazi taking time out to be with us here. We hope we'll be able to get to him in a second, but if not, the things that we saw his team do in the first half, Sal, we were real comfortable in that first quarter, but that second quarter, not so much.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to stand around long here. He has a lot to speak about here at halftime with the boys.
Well, let's ask him. Coach, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right, Coach, obviously a great first half for the fans, but it's got to be giving the coach like yourself a little bit of a heart murmur.
Yeah, well, you know, it's the nature of the game. It's a back-and-forth game. Baltimore, obviously, you know, is an experienced team, and they make you pay for your mistakes. And it seems like every time we score a goal, they come right back and score to get the momentum back on their side. And what we talked about is making sure that we focus right after our game. We focus right after our goal and make sure that defensively we're tight and we don't give up anything easy.
All right, Coach, we know you got work to do. Get after it. Thanks for joining us. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, guys.
Omid Namazi of the New Jersey Ironmen, who lead the Baltimore Blast 9-8 here on the MISL Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. We'll be back with more at halftime here from the Prudential Center in Newark. Stick around.
You wouldn't expect your bank teller to take back some of your money when you make a withdrawal. So why do you let the ATM take it when you need some cash? Open a checking account today at First Mariner Bank and you'll never have to pay to use the ATM. For no-fee access at more than 10,000 ATMs nationwide, look for the MoneyPass logo.
It's your money. You shouldn't have to pay a fee to get it. Switch to First Mariner Bank. We built this bank for you.
The Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey is the scene, and the New Jersey Ironmen 9, the Baltimore Blast 8 is the score at halftime of the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. Ken Tomasz, Sal Rosamilia with you. An exciting second quarter, part of an exciting week in the Major Indoor Soccer League. This was not the case a week ago. Baltimore did not have their way with New Jersey, or Baltimore did have their way with New Jersey, but it was all one-sided.
Good start to the game for the Ironmen. Salas finishing a good opportunity, putting them up 2-0 early in the first.
Here we see, this is actually highlights from the first half here tonight. Mike Lookingland puts it through Tony Meola's legs.
As the Blast have done all night, having an answer to an Ironman goal.
That was a three-pointer by Gordon Vasich. That is the margin of difference at the moment. That one was put home by Raul Marcel for Baltimore. It was a wild and woolly second quarter that included this shootout goal by Denison Cabral after a penalty called. And Cabral, the all-time leading scorer in Blast history, got that one. Then Robbie Aristodemo, that's kind of a controversial play. New Jersey thought that Baltimore had too many men on the field. They definitely had too many goals go in the back of the net. If you are New Jersey, they did answer late in the half. Salas again, he started the scoring, he ended it in that first half. And so as a result, this team is up 9-8 here after one half of play in the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. So now we'll talk about what else went on in the league. A week ago, these two teams they played in Baltimore, and the Blast won that one 15-2. But that wasn't the only fun around the league. Let's take a look at some of the scores and stuff from around the league. The one thing about this league is that almost on any given night, any team can beat any other team. Here was the game from last week in Baltimore, and it was all Blast. Sagu with the save there.
One of the few he had to make in the game. Ironman just totally shut down by a great defensive effort by the Blast. Never really threatened after the first quarter. Halftime it was 4-0, and the Blast just had an easy go of it.
3 goals in the third quarter broke it open for Baltimore at home. And Tony Meola and the rest of his teammates watched as that goal against the sixth attacker by Robbie Aristodemo went in late to seal it. 15-2 was the final score. Here we've got a much more even match as it's 9-8 at the half. But there are other games going on this week in the MISL. We'll take a look at those scores and see just how close the action in this league is, where on any given night, even the Orlando Sharks, Sal, who are 0-15, could come back and beat somebody. They're getting closer every time. Well, we'll come back with more here at halftime. We're at the Prudential Center, and the New Jersey Ironmen lead the Baltimore Blast 9-8 at halftime. So stick around. We've got a lot more coming up here on the MISL Game of the Week on Fox.
Faults that they've had and improving on them. I'm not sure if anybody knows at this point whether they're capable of doing it, but against the Blast, a great championship caliber team themselves, it's a great test for them.
Well, one thing we know for sure is that Omid Nomazi will have them ready. He's taken teams to the finals a couple of times. But now we want to bring in Danny Kelly, the Blast coach, who saw his team fall behind, but they really rallied in that second quarter. Danny, what did you guys do in the second quarter, and how did you seize the momentum?
Well, we played a little bit better defensively. I mean, in that first quarter, we weren't following them, we weren't staying with our runners, and you can't do that in this game and expect to win. So the second quarter, we tightened up a bit, finished some chances, and we're back in the game.
Are you going to go back to a little bit more? We spoke during the week, Coach, a little bit more possibly pressuring the defenders of the Ironmen when they get the ball, pressuring Meola a little bit?
Yeah, we'd like to do that, but at the same time, we need to be able to stay with our runners that are behind us as well, and we haven't shown that we've been able to do that just yet. But yeah, ultimately, I do want to put them under a bit of pressure and try and create some turnovers.
This game kind of a microcosm of your season, isn't it, Danny? Back and forth, back and forth. Good luck in the second half. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Danny Kelly of the Baltimore Blast, whose team started 5-0. Denison Cabral, one of their leading players this year and one of their all-time leading scorer. It's just like their season has gone, Sal. They started off 5-1, 1-5 in the last 6. They fell behind here, 4-2. Now they're only trailing 9-8, and it's anyone's game with 30 minutes to play.
Up and down season for the Blast, you're right. The game has mirrored that, and also an up and down season for the Ironmen. A lot of inconsistencies in their game. You would expect that of an expansion franchise, but Omid Namazi, his tolerance level for that is starting to fade.
On the front line with Vasich. Mujan sends it down low. Antuniak is there to put it on.
And a great play. Blast obviously know that Alavani and Salas want to take that shot. Had guys covering those options. Vasich went down low to Mujan for a great one-touch off the corner boards. And there's what Antuniak does.
That's a physical mismatch down low, too. Antuniak on Robbie Aristodemo. Aristodemo's a terrific player, but Antuniak is a Hulk.
He is, and not just for Aristodemo. He's a beast for any player, and you see what makes him such a great goal scorer. One touch in the right spot at the right time. Well-designed play. Baltimore took out the first 2 options. Ironmen went down low to Mujin. Great one-touch off the corner boards. And Antuniak is there for what he's done all year.
And Kevin Terry has just called an intentional handball and brought out the blue card. And they're going to send Baltimore's, it looks like Ray Martinez is going to be sent off, and New Jersey, to add insult to injury to Danny Kelly and folks, they just give up the goal, and now the handball call.
Baltimore penalty on number 7, Ray Martinez.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if the Ironmen really bunker down after the goal. They are susceptible, as you mentioned, to shorthanded goals. Baltimore, rather, is pretty good with shorthanded situations. And the Ironmen have let up 3 goals themselves on a power play situation. So after a goal here, it's really important that they not give up possession.
New Jersey leads it by 3. 1 minute to play, and Salas almost got his 3rd of the night.
And Sagu's hurt.
Sagu's hurt. He is. I don't know if he got kicked down there or what. He's holding that left arm out. Salas was right there on him. As for Daniel Antuniak, his 2nd goal of the night gives him 19 and the league lead, along with Dino Delevsky of Monterrey. And
Sagu does not look good here. Great setup by Antuniak. And he got stepped on.
Got stepped on, yes. That's going to hurt.
His left hand there.
And Dave Kern is up and stretching quickly off the Baltimore bench. There you see Dave Kern, who filled in admirably when Sagu was hurt earlier in the season, won his debut. He's a big guy. You know, it's tough to come in off the bench cold in a situation like this. You're a former keeper, Sal, you tell me.
No, not something you'd be comfortable with on a power play against you. Team Ironman just scored a goal. I'm sure he's hoping that they could tape up those fingers of Sagu and keep him in there. Salas really should have finished that opportunity there. Great setup by Antuniak. Back post wide open, not on his comfortable foot. It went to his right side, but should have been just a simple poke in for him.
Well, this gives Amid Namazi a chance to talk things over at least. Under a minute to go. And unlike a field player, if a field player gets tended to by the athletic trainer and they have to stop play, he's got to leave the game. But a goalkeeper does not have to leave the game. So the Baltimore training staff can take their time and work on Sagu, and they'll take as much time as they need. And it looks like he's going to stay in the game. Take a look again. As Salas just unfortunately steps right on that left hand. And even with a glove on, doesn't feel good. So Dave Kern is ready, but...
And I'm sure he wants to play as much as he can, but this is not a situation that he'd like to have his playing time come about.
Now that's your life as a backup keeper. You know, you're only, one injury away. Detroit came back on Chicago, so the Ignition now tied Milwaukee for the top spot in the league standings as they win at home at CompuWare Arena, and Chicago falls full game off the pace. Here it's Salas curling a left footer, and
why not test him?
Yeah, exactly. Sagu, though, reacted as if it didn't hurt him at all. Karate Man leads on the inside.
And that score by Detroit does not make the rest of the league happy. If they're taking in 4 points with their offense, they are going to be tough the rest of the way.
Yeah, they're stacked. Here is P.J. Wakefield. Touch was too strong in front of him. Under 30 seconds to go. New Jersey leads at 11-8. Salas is there. Ball bouncing in front. Sagu tries to pounce on it. It eludes him. And Aristodemo clears it the length of the field. So Tony Meola will start one more rush. New Jersey looking for the second goal of the quarter. They won't get it before the horn sounds. The only goal of the third goes to the home team. So with only 15 minutes left to play here on the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week on Fox Soccer Channel, Sal and I'll be back with the 4th quarter after this timeout. The Ironmen lead the blast 11-8, but who's going to be on top when it's all over? We'll all find out together next. Stay with us. The 4th quarter of the MISL Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel comes your way right after this timeout. 7 seconds left in the power play that began in the 3rd quarter. It did carry over here.
And they got to watch Martinez coming out of the box here, timing-wise again. He's free.
Martinez is free, and he receives this pass. And he wanted to hit a wide open Aristodemo on the far side, but he got fouled before he could do that.
And the problems for the Ironmen in the fourth quarter have really just been possession. They've lost possession of the ball in the fourth quarter. Other teams have been able to wear them down. And I'm sure Coach Namazi talked about that.
Martinez is there, just out of the penalty box, and he's back in the good graces of his team as he scores to make it 11-10.
And you see the frustration on Meola, and I'm sure on everybody on the Ironmen. It's not one particular person's fault, but just collectively as a group, they start failing in defensive responsibilities and defensive markings. It seemed like a harmless ball played from midfield off the corner boards, and Martinez just quicker than Alavanya to the ball, and really too easy.
26-year-old from Cuba. You may remember him as a young man who defected during a visit to the U.S. by the Cuban national team.
Viable options right now for this restart here.
Sagu watches as P.J. Wakefield will trigger the restart from right on that three-point line. Down in front, a rough touch, and Meola leaps over Michelle Millwood's head to get that one, and he throws it the length of the floor. And Aristodemo, who is the goalie at the moment, he can use his hands in that penalty arc, just as Sagu would, but he has the advantage of being able to go forward and give them the extra attacking player. Baltimore looking to take the lead with the extra attacker on, and 2:22 to go in the game, down a point.
And Kelly might have been thinking too, the Ironmen have done a good job in the previous 3 or 4 minutes of holding possession. They might not have had an opportunity to go to a sixth attacker.
That's right. Neto in front. Millwood is there, and Meola pounces on it. Aristodemo has to hustle back.
Millwood's just missed all night long.
Meola spots Vasic, and Vasic smartly backs the ball back out instead of taking it on to goal. He could have gone in on a guy who's not used to playing goalkeeper, but instead he tried to kill some more clock. Under 2 minutes now. Maybe we will see Aristodemo for quite a while here as a sixth attacker.
Well, now they probably have to go with it. This is the spot where we thought maybe they would make the move. So,
well, even if you do give up a goal, you know, if it's a 2-point goal, you're still within 3, and you could still tie it with a 3-point goal. That's part of the thinking behind multi-point scoring. A minute and a half to go. Wakefield sends it. It went off. Millwood in front. Salenza is there, and he gets the score, and the Blast are up 12-11.
And another one of those opportunities that the Ironmen have struggled with. Ball coming off the boards. Great indoor goal by the Blast. Extra man, not everybody can be covered. And Salenza's waiting.
Meola got his fingertips on it, but nobody marked Giuliano Salenza on the back post.
Again, they are a man up, the Blast, so somebody's going to be open, but you're right, Salenza and the back post is not the person that should be. And just a great finish by, you know, one of the better players that this league has had for many years.
Back and forth this game has been. Now Baltimore's up 12-11, and now Omid Namazi's coaching strategy completely changes from what it was 30 seconds ago.
He's got to go sixth attacker now, and that'll be Goran Vasic, most likely to wear the sixth attacker jersey. And that was, you know, the one possession game was interesting there because it wasn't a 2-point lead with the Ironmen. The one goal has now all of a sudden gone from an Ironman victory to a Blast victory.
All right, stay with us. To hear the last 82 seconds of this game, folks, this lead could still go back and forth 2 or 3 more times if this game holds to form. But you mentioned that the Ironmen have struggled with the sixth attacker on. Normally, you like to obviously score goals and not give up a lot, but they have only scored 1 sixth attacker goal all season long, and they've given up 4. Leaving that net empty at the other end is the big gamble that you take with the extra attacker on. But Goran Vasic is on in the bright green and black shirt. And
well, there's no option here.
Yeah.
You have to go sixth attacker. Segu's back in for the Blast. Great job by them with the sixth attacker. Now we'll see what the Ironmen can do.
This is much like a power play, and New Jersey has been less than stellar on the power play tonight. 1:06 left. And as it's only a 1-point lead, a goal may not send us to overtime. Mugin in front, sets up Sloan, and he scores. Told you to stick around.
What a goal by Sloan. Great setup by Mugin. And the Blast, I thought, were doing a good job of applying pressure on the ball, but there they didn't get pressure quick enough to Mugin. Picks out Sloan. A great one-time finish by one of the best point scorers this league has had. one of, I believe, 14 men to have 1,000 points in their career. And man, this is exciting. Again, a one-point situation. Sagoo's now got to come out for the sixth attacker again. Meola back in for the Ironmen. And there's 54 seconds left, Ken. Like you said, there's one. You said it could go back and forth a couple of times. We'll see if you're right.
Kevin Sloan's third goal of the year. He was injured in the early part of the season, but he put the hurt there on Baltimore. And with 44 seconds left, New Jersey leads it 13-12. And Robbie Aristodemo was forced to come over and clear that ball into the seats. He had no other choice.
Yeah, if he didn't, David was probably going to be by him for the icing on the cake there, and that's fine with the Ironmen. 35 seconds to go, and now it's their possession. And I'm sure they'd like to keep it for the final 35 here.
2 sixth attacker goals in the latter stages of this game. And Baltimore trying to get possession so they can maybe get a third and grab the lead. 30 seconds to go in the game. Here they come. Well, we looked to play that one off the board, but Kleshin had the answer. Millwood heads it to Wakefield. They're wasting time. Not intentionally, of course. Stokic stripped of the ball by Cabral. What a play. Cabral now flicks it the length of the floor, but Kleshin is there. Stokic with a great move. 8 seconds to go. New Jersey may be able to kill it off. 4 seconds to go. Ball up, off the glass. David heads it just wide of the post as the horn ends a great game on the MISL Game of the Week. The final, the New Jersey Ironmen beat the Baltimore Blast by the score of 13-12.
What a game for the Ironmen. What a game for the fans. Exactly the kind of game that they'll need confidence-wise. This is the first time they've beaten, quote-unquote, what you'd call an indoor team. They've struggled with Milwaukee, 0-2 so far in the year. 0-1 leading into tonight with Baltimore, 0-1 to Philly. So this is a game that they were pointing towards to kind of see how they stack up. Baltimore is definitely probably going to be there at the end of the season, certainly in the playoffs, you would think. And this is definitely a big confidence boost to go behind in the final minute and then come back on the sixth attacker that they've struggled with so far this year. I think finally we might get to see Coach Namazi smile a bit.
Well, especially when a week ago you lose 15-2 to this same team. You obviously didn't get much offensively there. You even lost the momentum at one stage here tonight, but then grabbed it back, and things changed in the final minute of play. They had to reboot, so to speak, get that sixth attacker on, and they got the goal. It's got to be a big confidence boost for the guys in red.
Well, and it's something that they haven't had, frankly. When things have gone bad for them, they haven't been able to pick themselves up, and it's taken a veteran, really, of many years in indoor soccer to allow them to come through. Kevin Sloan, a great finish, and picking them up and carrying them to victory.
Well, the man of the hour is with us now, Kevin Sloan. Congratulations, great goal, but how did Coach Namazi draw things up for you guys when you had to go sixth attacker there in the final play?
I mean, all we tried to do was we had two guys. They'd like to go one guy up top. We went with two guys. We came myself wide, and Mauricio Salas on the other side, and we just tried to get it from side to side and see if we couldn't just try and get it in the corners. We weren't able to get it there. Ball went down low and kicked back to Mauricio, and he, if you keep the defense moving, seems open. And fortunately, Mauricio kind of found the seam for me, and fortunately enough, I was able to put the biscuit in the basket.
Kevin, this has to make you happy, not only as a player, but as part of the coaching staff. It seemed like the Ironmen really did a good job in the fourth quarter, which is where they've struggled recently at home. Holding a lead, even though you did drop it in the final minute. But you did do a good job, much better with possession. Got to make you happy.
Yeah, I mean, tonight's game was a game of us just being able to, sustain, not letting them have too much momentum. If they scored, us try and come back. And, we did have a good third and fourth quarter. The game did go back and forth. We stayed in it. We got a young team, and the guys came out, and, we slid. We did what we needed to in order to get the result. And so, part of the coach staff, I'm really proud of the guys.
All right, Kevin Sloan, thank you. Congratulations on a big win tonight and a big goal for yourself. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Great, thanks a lot. Take care.
All right, this has got to do wonders for this New Jersey team. Kevin Sloan, one of the veterans, obviously, of the league, but this is a fresh start and a new situation for him, and he's coaching a bunch of guys many of them have never played indoor game. I think they've caught on.
Well, that's the hope. Certainly the talent, the athleticism is there. There's a lot of great soccer players on the team that just need to learn the indoor game. Approaching the midway mark for the Ironmen, now at 9-5. I think that has exceeded what they thought the record would be. But more importantly, I think the way they won and the team they beat today in the Baltimore Blast, a great indoor team, a team that's going to be there at the end of the season, I think that makes them more happy than anything.
48 shots evenly split between these two teams. This was a razor-thin margin, and not only a margin of victory, but the stats bear that out, as this could have gone either way, absolutely.
Well, it did. It went back and forth in the final minute. Could have gone either way, but for the people in attendance tonight, happy crowd leaving here.
And the folks watching at home obviously enjoyed it as well. Now Baltimore's up and down season continues. They drop a little bit to 6-7, and now what do they need to do? They need a slub buster, as it were, to kind of get back on the winning track.
Well, there was too many points given up from Baltimore, too many shots. We talked about it throughout the game. Segu was probably busier tonight than he has been all season.
Right.
And if they're going to go far in the playoffs, they're going to need to get back to what they do well, which is limit opportunities for the other team. Too many tonight for the Ironmen. But I expect them, with Neto back, getting healthier, I expect them to be there at the end of the season.
Well, if you dug this game, and how could you not, join us next week in Chicago as the Storm take on the Philadelphia Kicks. That should be a fun one. We'll have it for you. That's 8 o'clock Eastern time. 1 week from tonight as the MISL Game of the Week brings us to Chicago. It brought us to New Jersey tonight. It brought us thrills, it brought us spills, and it brought us lots of goals. The final one gave New Jersey the victory. We hope you enjoyed the MISL Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. Be sure to join us next week. The final score again tonight, New Jersey 13, Baltimore 12. It was a barn burner for Sal Rosamillia and our entire crew. This is Ken Tomash. Thanks for watching. This has been a production of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Good night from New Jersey.